Hey everyone, Jeremy here with a look at Kidnapping in Age of Wushu. This is just a beginner's casual quick start guide to what kidnapping is and how to go about it in the game. Kidnapping is something you can do that will raise your morality rating, which is right here. You can either just mouse over your character attributes at the top where it says good and evil and get a quick view of your good, evil, or confidence points, or you could enter in the bottom left you'll see my Jianghu, and you can click on that and it opens up sort of your personal progression area, and it displays it right at the bottom there. You can see I have good 5 points, 0 evil, 0 confidence. Kidnapping is evil, and your school will have certain rules. So you can also build up discipline points, which I might get into another time. But we're going to try going over here and actually kidnapping a character. One thing to keep in mind is you can't go to like a store or inside of a store. That's sort of what we're doing here. We're like at a location, this boat. So we can't really kidnap these offline characters and then immediately turn them in to the owner in here. You have to take them to a different owner because they've already been sold, or offline characters have already started jobs here, and kidnapping is only used on offline characters. So all these like servants over here are actual players that are offline right now, and you could kidnap these players. Basically you need a knockout powder. You can buy them at general goods stores, and I'll show those in a minute. But I have this one here. It's a level 6. There are different levels because, well, players can attain different levels of strength. So the higher, you might need higher levels of sedative to be able to successfully kidnap a player. So let's go ahead and just try this. It might not always work, and there, this one worked. So we're going to see what it looks like. Now I'm going to be flagged. They turn into a bag. You click the bag and you'll start carrying it, but you'll be flagged as a kidnapper while in this state with the purple symbol above me. I could be attacked because I'm flagged, so a would-be hero could come along to get good points and kill me and stop me. I found what I think is a rather short trip, which I'm going to try to complete here to actually show you what it looks like to finish this. So we click on here. I brought someone for you. I'll give you a decent amount of tails for this. You have a deal. So click on you have a deal, and you can see I got 10 liang of the bound silver, the in-game silver. Let me actually open my system mail. And so I got also 1 liang of unbound silver. So that's actually something that people love to get out of kidnapping. A lot of people like to do kidnapping because it's a way for free players to earn a little bit of unbound silver. This is the good stuff, the good silver that you can use in the player market. That it's the same silver that people can use if they're paying and they buy gold in the cash shop, and then they can transfer gold into silver. It transfers into the tails. That's what they call it, tails, or unbound silver that can be used in the player market. So that's something that's nice that players love. They do kidnapping for that. But now you'll see on my chart it earned me 1 evil point, and I don't know if you noticed also, if we look at my system report. It might say it or might not. But basically, you have to pay attention to school rules. Every school has slightly different rules, and Beggar Sect, which I am in, has a strict rule of no kidnapping. It doesn't mean I cannot kidnap, it just means that I'll earn discipline every time I kidnap. And as you can see, I've earned 10 points of discipline here. So that's a mark against me, and if that builds up, I could get a bad debuff and whatever, and I'll have to sit at like a holy place to, you know, basically sit there over time to get these points to slowly go away, to lower that back down. So that's kind of a checks and balances thing, at least for Beggar Sect. So if I keep kidnapping, I'm going to quickly reach 100 points because I got 10 points per kidnap, and then I'll be stuck and I'll have to spend a lot of time just sitting at a holy building, waiting, you know, repenting basically to get those points to go away. Now, you can buy knockout powders at general goods merchants. They look like this blue bag here. We can just auto path to it, and I'll show you quickly how there's different levels of sedative that you can get. Another thing is most people log off in their school zone because that's the safest place to not get kidnapped. And if you're a victim of kidnapping, it's not a terrible, you don't get a terrible punishment or anything. You basically get a debuff that means that lasts for 6 hours, and during those 6 hours, it basically means you cannot take any. You can't have a variety of offline jobs that are normally available to you. Normally, when you log off in a zone, it'll tell you you could be one of these 5. You could be doing one of these 5 different jobs. Well, if you have that debuff, it'll restrict that, and it'll say you have to do this one job, and that's it. That's all you can do while you're offline. So it's not a terrible thing to be kidnapped, but people try to reduce the chances of being kidnapped by logging off in their zone. The risks are lower there. So here's a general goods merchant. You can buy these different knockout powders in the top 2 rows here, and you can see here's level 1 all the way up to level 10. And they do get more expensive. Like you can see, level 1 costs 70 Wen, level 10 costs 3 Liang, which isn't terrible, and level 10 is your best chance, because you could mess up and find an offline player that's too strong and kind of fights back. And what that does is it'll paralyze you for 1 minute. For 60 seconds you'll be paralyzed, and you'll just sit there and you won't be able to move. Doesn't really do anything else. You don't get flagged or anything. You do lose the sedative that you tried to use, and you just sit there for a minute, being paralyzed. And that's about the basics of it. If you think I forgot anything, or if I forgot anything, I'll go ahead and add it in as an annotation. You can also leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. And there is some related stuff. A lot of other features and ways you can play the game kind of work with kidnapping and work off of kidnapping. So I definitely haven't explained everything. I tried to keep kidnapping as a separate tutorial. But again, if you have any concerns, you think I should have mentioned something, please let us know in the comment section below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below as well. And I'll add, like I said, if it's something I remembered and that definitely should be included in this beginner guide, I'll add it as an annotation. So that's a look at the kidnapping. Just watch your discipline, check your school rules, see what you can do, check your discipline, watch that, and just be careful when you do kidnap a player and you're on the run. Be sure to not get caught, because I would be do-gooder could stop you. Oh, another important thing before I go, this is rather important, and I don't want to forget this. Bring up your handy-dandy daily events window I've been mentioning in all my tutorials, just with the letter N as in no. And you can find Kidnap. Click on Kidnap, and this is what you can do before you attempt a kidnap. You can actually find the NPC characters that are willing to buy kidnap players. So down here is 3 tabs: registration area, exchange area, and rules. Go to exchange area, pick the zone you're in or the zone you want to try kidnapping in. In this case I'm in Youser. So I click on Youser, and in the right, this is a list of all the players, or all the NPCs that are willing to buy kidnapped players. So you can go ahead and just click to auto run to them and see who's willing. You can see even way over here, there's a person way over here way down here willing to buy kidnapped players. So that's really handy to look ahead of time, to go ahead and plot your path and be prepared, and then go ahead and kidnap, and then you know exactly where to go right away. And also, I think also, you can look at registration area to find out, this is, let me see, I'm forgetting some of this stuff in my tutorial guide, I apologize. I think that's about it. Again, there's so much stuff related to it, I could keep going and bloom out into discussing more and more about kidnapping, but this is a basic guide. So I'll go ahead and end it there, and thank you ahead of time for all the hits and commenting in the comment section below, and I'll see you next video.